Have you heard the phrase, get out of your head and into your heart? It's something that I've heard quite a bit in recovery support group meetings and from counselors. And I was told at one point that if I didn't do that, get more into my heart center from overthinking and over intellectualizing stuff, I was told by a very talented counselor that if I didn't do that, I would be dead because I was rationalizing my way into continued alcohol addiction. So that journey of recovery began 5.5 years ago, and I'm doing what one of my life coaches calls pushing my comfort zone, expanding a little bit, growing and adapting, seeing what capacities I have that I really don't think that I have or that I'm afraid to step into. So this idea of stepping out of my comfort zone, for me, lines up with getting out of my head and into my heart, because my head is absolutely my comfort zone. I will default right away to what I've heard called in AA the stinking thinking. You know, have you heard that phrase that your thinking is like a dark alley, you shouldn't go in there alone? And that's, kind of funny, but it's true in a way because I'm able to rationalize, justify, analyze, objectify, and wind my way up in so many ways to not only justify behavior and motives, but also cause myself stress and anxiety due to overthinking. And even now, I'm kind of talking fast, I'm forgetting to breathe. And so this has been one of the greatest gifts for me of the complementary health tools that I've learned on my path of recovery, such as yoga and qigong and meditation and deep full belly breathing, because these tools affect the physiology and the brain chemistry in such a way that it makes it easier to get out of my head and into my heart, into a little bit of terrain that is pushing my comfort zone, because often I'm not real comfortable feeling emotions. A lot of people are. A lot of people are overly emotionally sensitive, not in a bad way, but they feel emotion so much that their comfort zone is to move away from that. Well, mine is to move more towards feeling emotions, more towards connecting a little bit more with even how the emotions feel in the gut. So when I breathe deeply in a meditation or in a qigong exercise at night, staring up at the moon, enjoying the breeze, listening to the birds outside during the day, or connecting with a friend in a conversation, reading a Facebook post that stirs some emotion, maybe even some tears, letting myself pause for a moment and actually feel what's really happening. Where do I notice that sensation in the body? What is really coming up? And is it joy, or maybe even something not so pleasant? Maybe there's some fear or some anger or sadness. Or sometimes when I go deep, I'm connecting with feelings of abandonment, which can kind of go back to some childhood stuff. Not that I was abandoned as a child and raised by wolves, but the sense that in my household growing up in an alcoholic family, there wasn't always the emotional nurturing and connected that maybe the emotional nurturing and connection that maybe I needed to be really fully healthy at that point. Stuff gets seeded early in our lives, and I'm not blaming my alcohol addiction on that alone. There's a lot of factors to it, but sometimes when I peel back the layers of overthinking and get in touch with what I'm really feeling, the feeling down there is some kind of disconnect or abandonment or fear or sadness that goes way back. And these kind of feelings can get stored in the body in ways that get released when we work our bodies in things like yoga and qigong. As we move, as we breathe, modern medical science is learning more that this isn't just woo-woo stuff, that actually traumatic memories or experiences or they can get trapped in cellular memory. Massage therapists know about this. The phrase is, the issues are in the tissues. And so when we begin to become more into our body, we can by default become more into our emotions and start feeling things more. And that really begins with the breath. It doesn't have to be a yoga class or a qigong routine. It can simply be sitting in the car on the way home, thinking about the day's problems, stressing about the future, having some anxiety, regretting the past, and all that, stinking thinking. When I can drop into the breath in that moment, allow my belly to fully move and begin to feel, dropping from the head into the heart, getting out of the comfort zone of my overthinking and into the place where I'm actually viscerally understanding myself a little better. That's not always comfortable, but it's a place of growth. It's a place of expansion and self-challenge. And I'll keep working with my breath and these other tools that I've learned and would like to share with you more and more in order to help you along the same path of moving maybe well, to find balance. Maybe you need to move more from your emotions into your head, like the other way that I spoke. But regardless, we all tend to be over focused in one area. And so that's why the name of my educational operation here is called Growing Balance, because I'd like to teach you some of the things I've learned about moving towards an equilibrium, moving towards a balance point between extremes. So my extreme is being overly in the head, and as I move to the heart, I begin to find balance. So if you're not already receiving my weekly emails, please jump on over to growingbalance.com. Give me your email address, and I'd love to include you. Just like we have to grow our awareness or grow our connection with breath, we need to grow our balance. So jump on over to growingbalance.com, and maybe please leave me a like or a comment on this video. I look forward to connecting with you more. Enjoy today. Find something to be grateful for right now, and don't forget to breathe. Be well.